Well, I think it was about a year ago that I first visited Spider Gate Cemetery here in Leicester, Massachusetts. And of course, the winter has taken its toll on the surrounding environment. Everything is much more barren. But they did a bit of developing on this land, clear-cutting, deforestation, and unfortunately, we're certainly seeing signs of that. It's a pretty cool stone wall, quite intact, that I missed last time walking out in these woods. This is on the left side of the trail as you're coming in. Here we are yet again at the Friends Meeting House Cemetery, or the Friends Cemetery, or Spider Gate Cemetery, however you'd like to affectionately refer to it. But before I hop back in there, we're going to go to the right, because I was told to follow this path if you wanted to find the alleged gates that somehow exist around here. So let's go and check that out. Alright, we're coming up on this really gorgeous area. You know, I don't know if this would constitute as a gate. Got one on the right side as well. But for the sake of conversation, let's call this Gate 1. Look how beautiful this brook is. Alright, I'm really not too far away from the cemetery. I mean, if I were to take a guess, maybe 500 feet away. I noticed that this path actually ends right up this way, and I can see the road across this babbling brook. I'm starting to seriously doubt not only the information I was given, but again, really reconsider what we're listening to when we talk about urban legend. I mean, as far as I can ascertain at this moment, these gates don't exist the way that they've been described. But I'll keep looking, and we'll see what we can get to. Let's see. Alright, here's the end of that trail. We're going to call it Gate 2. And perhaps just across the road, we have Gate 3. Now where the hell am I supposed to go? Alright, I found an entrance. Let's push on. I don't know if you can see that, but the entire pathway is flooded out. Where I just walked from was no exception, and both my socks are wet and my shoes are full of mud. So I don't think I'm going to be able to traverse this path today, although I will come back and explore further at another point in time. Alright, so that was it for the gates. Maybe there are more back there. I mean, I'm sure that this is more of a figurative thing than it is literal, but I figured I'd take the time to at least investigate. Yeah, as I mentioned, maybe they're further back in the woods. That trail does go up quite a ways once you cross the road. And perhaps in the summertime I'll revisit when it's a little less damp out. Recent rain really swelled up a lot of these bodies of water, so I think that's what we're getting, the runoff. But hey, at least I took a look. And in the meantime, we'll just head back to the Spider Gate Cemetery and poke around for a bit. Now, the last time I visited Spider Gates, I didn't really experience anything to take note of, but today I'm alone, so that's different. Maybe there are other energies that came with me, influenced what was happening here in way of our experience. But just taking a quick solitary walk around the plots here, I'm certainly feeling dizzy. If I were to equate it to something more tangible, take 2 hits of a sativa strain, and that's what you feel like. But I'm not high. So I don't know why I keep experiencing this. It's stronger here than the other 2 locations that I experienced the same effect this week. There's sort of this weird undulating energy. It kind of presses against my chest, and then it comes off. Presses up against, and then comes back off. So there's an oscillation there, but it's incredibly subtle. So I'm not sure what that is, but it's not what I observed the last time I was here, and not normally something I experience when I walk into these type of locations. So I'm taking note of that. This is curious. Shirley Johnson Southwick, 1920 to 1998, beloved wife of Albert Brown Southwick, 1920 to 2021. So either they buried somebody here in 1998, which is quite recent considering the history of this place, or there was a person by the name of Albert buried here in 2021, which is even more recent and actually quite surprising. So I figured I'd point this out very quickly. There are a couple gravestones that have very neat new etchings on them. So maybe they are still utilizing this area even up to the current day, as has been reported in many circumstances. I am told that right beyond this wall and down into that crevasse, this is all Native American burial grounds. Now, I haven't found any documentation to support this claim, but I've heard this quite a few times, and one of my hypotheses when I first came here was that this place isn't active because it's a graveyard, it's because of the land that is around here. I think that is usually the influence for certain activity. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to really follow logical suit as to why you'd have all these haunted graveyards all across North America. In most cases, whatever has happened to the person in the physical life is not occurring within the graveyard itself. So, I mean, either they're bringing that energy with them after death to the place of rest, or something in the way of the land is acting more efficiently and predominantly on the physical location, and thus we conclude that a place is haunted because we just experienced the activity locally. Because of the time of year, once again, I'm able to see a lot deeper into the woods than I normally would with the canopies and all of the evergreen grown in. I have to tell you, I've been looking for other structures just outside of this graveyard. Obviously, we found a few on the hike I took a moment ago, but I'm not seeing anything in that way. Just to mention quickly, one more note about these colonial stone walls you see peppered everywhere amongst the Northeast. These are comprised of field stones. So when people were tilling the fields and creating plots to farm and grow other sorts of crops, they were taking the stones out of the soil, and that's what they were using to create these walls. Now, I didn't really intend to spend a whole lot of time here in Spider Gates today. My main mission was to go out and see if I could find those proposed gates, which, of course, maybe we found 3, I guess. Only another excursion out will really tell if there is something much further beyond, and I do hope that the person who has told me this, the most predominant person who's mentioned this, will come along for the trek as well. But in the meantime, it's a short and sweet one tonight, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for being here with us at Dark Hour Paranormal. And of course, I'm going to continue to go out onto these locations and film, and I do this for you. Of course, I'm having a great time out here, but I come out every single day that I can because I want to give everybody something new in way of content to wrap their heads around and question as we move forward into the next subject. Thanks so much once again, guys. We'll see you next time on Dark Hour Paranormal. Ciao!